For our next fireside chat, the topic is on the financing part, investment and financing in the energy sector. What are the challenges and opportunities? I'd like to call on stage now Balasaheb B.Thite, Director Finance, Maharashtra State Power Generation Company. CA Jitendra Agarwal, Senior Vice President and Head of Debt Syndication and Advisory Group from IDBI Capital. Ashish Pattjoshi, Executive Vice President and Head of Investment Banking, IDBI Capital. And Pankaj Sharma, Chief General Manager, F&A, Maharashtra State Power Generation. Okay, so let me start with Mr. Balasaheb. When we are talking about investment and financing, especially in the power generation sector, so I would like to understand what are the traditional and the main sources of funding for the energy sector, and how does a power generation company determine these funds?
Hello, Namaste. See, in 1960, Maharashtra state has come in existence, and immediately after that, Maharashtra State Electricity Board formed. Right from the 1960, this electricity board is working on behalf of the state government, and my state, Maharashtra, is always leading state in many the sectors like industries, health, and all other sectors. This much is the contribution that my board has been put in the growth of the state. In 2005, there was a trifurcation of MSEB board, and 3 companies came in existence. From that is Maharashtra State Power Generation Company Limited. As we have the status of company, we have to raise our own funds. First of all, we have to raise our own funds. And if the seed capital is available with us, if not, any kind of the subsidy or grant is provided by the state government, we have to design our projects, design our schemes accordingly, and additional fund is required, then we have to go for the loans as far as the credentials of the company. Then there is the sources of some subsidies, some grants, some equity from the state government also. Then there are some kinds of the public and private sector participation is also. These various kind of modes we can avail to raise the funds and to grow my company. As far as the MSEB electricity sector is concerned, we are governed with the certain regulatory parameters. CERC for the central electricity companies and MERC for the state electricity company. From we are governed by the regulator body and various parameters, we have to perform accordingly and raise our own funds, and out of that we have to gain some profit from that. Last year only, as the performance in 2003 and 2004 financial year is considered, MSEB, Maharashtra State Power Generation Company, has achieved the additional revenue of only 7,000 crore in a year, and by achieving all the parameters, we under the able guidance of our CMD sir, we succeed to gain additional revenue of 7,000 crore. It happens because we are our director operation, our director project, our staff from our technicians, all our engineers from all power plants, they are on the toes 24/7. They trying to put their best, and it is all team efforts, and that's why it is possible. These are the various modes we can raise the funds.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing all the details on that. Jitendra Agarwal, I'll come to you next. The slightly different perspective. Harnessing technology to drive energy. That has been the focus of our conclave today. So, what I would like to understand when we are talking about this transition of the power sector, the challenges, the key challenges that you feel, and in that perspective, when we are talking about all this green and clean energy, how is it going to be a game changer?
So, thank you very much. So, as we all know that a healthy power sector is dependent on three very main segments, which is the generation, transmission and distribution. So, collectively, these three, if they function together properly, we can have a healthy power sector. Of late, historically, if we see, India's power sector has been predominantly coal-based power, and the transition towards the RE will take time, but the roadmap which is created by the government is definitely going to happen. So traditionally, if we see the basket of power in India was heavily towards the coal-based thermal power, which constituted about more than 3/4 of the total power basket. What happened was gradually when there is a shift towards the RE sector, in thermal power what happened was because of the lack of PPAs and the issues relating to the availability of coal, financial positions of the discoms, and obviously the lack of availability of gas. We saw several of large power projects became stalled, and though they are the national assets of our country, but still, I mean, they were useless. So now is a state where basically these challenges which were faced, which led to basically, I mean, the thermal power plants to be stalled, to overcome these challenges. Because as we stand today, India is the 5th largest economy right now and growing at a very brisk pace. And the requirement of power is such, it is needed everywhere. We all know that. The growth in power, if we can see, it is the largest in the entire globe. India's growth in power is about 7 to 8% annually. If we see the peak demand of power, it is rising day by day. Today, the peak demand of power is about 243 gigawatt, which is slated to increase to about 280 gigawatt. So, how can we overcome these challenges is there are steps which are being taken by the government of India. One is regarding the distribution framework. In the distribution segment, the government is doing a lot of work. They have tightened screws within the, the distribution companies to bring in a lot of discipline. Smart metering is something which the government is focusing on and trying to achieve 100% smart meters by 26. AT&C losses, which were quite high previously, those have come down, and there are still efforts which are being made to curtail down even further. So all these measures would definitely bring in a lot of discipline, and eventually what will happen is these efforts will basically translate into a very healthy power sector going forward.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Ashish Pattjoshi, I'll come to you next. From an investment perspective, or a lender's perspective, I'd rather say, how would you assess the energy sector and the way it is going to shape further, and how is this sector placed to attract foreign equity capital?
Thank you. So energy sector is a very wide definition as per Reserve Bank of India. So for the current discussion, I'm restricting to only power sector, because I see that most of the earlier discussions were only on power sector. So let's discuss only on power sector, because energy is pretty wide and it includes oil and gas and a lot of other things as well. So as far as lenders is concerned, so we are an investment bank, and what we do that we essentially get both the borrower who wants the money and the lender who can potentially give the money. So we are the bridge in between. So what we have seen that if you break up the power sector into two parts roughly, let's say renewable and non-renewable. So in non-renewable we have primarily thermal and coal-based oil, gas and lignite. And on renewable we have solar, hydro and wind. And if you look at the split, the installed capacity of probably the non-renewable piece, thermal piece is roughly around 220 gigawatts, versus the renewable piece, including hydro, is inching towards 200 gigawatt. However, the PLF of the non-renewable portion is way too higher than the renewable piece. Due to this, what happens that the total energy is totally skewed towards non-renewable, which Jitendra said, almost 3/4 of the current output of Indian power plants are still from the thermal side. So reliance on thermal is not going to go away. I think multiple panelists in the previous sessions have reiterated. I'm again reiterating it. So it's going to stay for there for some time. Now, as far as financing is concerned, the Indian banks, because these assets are very, very critical for us to Indian economy to run forward, Indian banks still continue to finance all these mega power projects based on thermal and all. However,
Jitendra Agarwal. Ashish Pattjoshi. Pankaj Sharma. Can I request everyone to join for a group photo?